Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to Cobalt Elbow. Today, I would like to do my best to establish the big three lifts for arm wrestling. This is Powerlifters Hold the Key Part 2. The goal of this video is to establish the arm wrestling equivalent of the squat, bench, and deadlift. This is a question I've been asked before, and I actually already made a video about it. But I think I need to update my answer. In my previous video, I said that the big three arm wrestling lifts were belt rise, belt pronation, and then the multi-spinner lifts. But I was thinking about that, and that really only applies to like a top roll style. And I think if you're going to say the best three lifts for arm wrestling, you've got to treat all three moves as being equal. You know, the hook, the press, and the top roll. Like if I'm to say these are the best three lifts for arm wrestling, but it's all top roll, like that's only a third of the picture. So this is a correction in my previous video where I said that, you know, those three lifts were the best. I have updated. So what are the qualifications for a lift to be considered the big three for arm wrestling? First of all, it needs to be safe, obviously. Second of all, it needs to be a compound lift, not an isolation lift. Third of all, it needs to be comprehensive. Comprehensive in the sense that it does not leave behind any of the strengths needed in arm wrestling. So from finger to shoulder, we need to target everything with these three lifts for them to qualify as big three. They need to be treating the hook, press, and top roll equally, unlike my previous recommendation where the lifts were really just for the top roll. Like I think if you want to call them big three, well, what are the big three in arm wrestling? Hook, press, and top roll. So the lifts need to be helpful to all three of those. And on that note, they also kind of need to mimic those moves, in my opinion, because we are building our motor skills when we lift, and so we want that motor skill development to carry over into our arm wrestling. So without further ado, these are the big three lifts for arm wrestling. Number one, this in my opinion is the squat equivalent for arm wrestling, right? If powerlifting kind of revolves around the squat, it's like the king of all exercises. What's the king of all exercises in arm wrestling? Wrist wrench, pocket pull. Let me demonstrate. What's a pocket pull? Pocket pull is a combination vector of direct side pressure and direct back pressure. So it's a diagonal vector that runs corner to corner from your table. That's what a pocket pull is. It's also defined by the humerus not being at a 90-degree angle to the force vector, but being at a 135-degree angle. So we're not going to stand up and just do it directly like this with internal shoulder rotation. We're going to kind of lean to the side and get the bicep in it as well. So let me demonstrate real quick here with my resistance bands what the wrist wrench pocket pull looks like. Sorry, I didn't have this already set up. Should lack of preparation here. So wrist wrench, you can see I made this myself, very easy. I'm also a little bit stupid when it comes to getting it set up. All right, here we go. So I have my band running corner to corner. As you can see, we have this wrist wrench here, which is going to try and target my fingers, my wrist, along with this whole pocket pull motion. So the pocket pull motion just looks like this. A lot of you probably already do this. This is this king of all arm wrestling exercises. Whether you're top rolling, hooking, or pressing, the strengths developed by the pocket pull are used in every single move. If you're pressing, you're going to use pocket pull strength to pull into your press position. If you're top rolling, you're using pocket pull strength to pin. If you're hooking, you're pretty much just using the pocket pull as your move. So yes, exercise number 1, wrist wrench, pocket pull. That is the first of the 3 big lifts, big compound lifts for arm wrestling. Number 2, if this is our hook lift, the squat, the next is our press lift, the deadlift, or sorry, not the deadlift, the bench press. This is like the bench press equivalent for arm wrestling. And it is this one's a bit convoluted. We're combining a lot of stuff into one lift, right? We're using a low multi-spinner, and we're going to do a press move. So this is going to be targeting the bottom fingers, the supination, the wrist, and your press technique. So if the pocket pull was back pressure plus side pressure, diagonal, the press is forward tricep pressure plus side pressure. So for this one, you need to align your table such that you're going corner to corner in a pressing vector here, using your supinated low multi-spinner here. And the lift just looks like this. The press, very simple. We've got supination, finger and wrist, pressing force, and side pressure force all in one lift. Very valuable, very comprehensive. Compound lifting is where it's at. And the final lift, if the squat is your wrist wrench, the bench is your press move, then the deadlift is everyone's favorite strap pronation lift. You know, the classic, I don't have the camera angle set up for it, but you know which one I'm talking about. The classic, get on the ground and break it loose. That's your back pressure and pronation. And your elbow flexion. So we have a lift that targets pronation and back pressure. We have a lift that targets wrist and combines high pressure. And we have a lift that targets supination and tricep pressure. Comprehensive big 3, covers all the 3 main arm wrestling lifts, covers all the main arm wrestling strengths, and they're safe, they are easy. You don't need complex equipment, right? This multi-spinner is simple as hell. It's just a 2x4, some staples, some straps. I got this nail here to prevent the strap from like sliding off. I'm doing them with resistance bands, but they can just as easily be done with a pulley. Eventually I'll get a pulley setup built for that purpose. But yeah, guys, that's my video. The big 3 lifts of arm wrestling: wrist wrench, pocket pull, supinated low multi-spinner press, and number 3, pronated back pressure with the strap. The big 3 lifts of arm wrestling. This is part 2 of my Powerlifters Hold the Key video. Part 3, we're going to talk about programming and preparing for competition. Programming in the sense of sets, reps, weights, frequency, rest periods, etc. I believe that if we can create a system that is parallel to powerlifting, but for arm wrestling specifics, that holds the greatest potential for the fastest rate of progress in arm wrestling. So that's going to be my next video, talking about how to program these lifts and how to create a block a training block to prepare for a competition. Tell me what you think. If you think I missed an exercise, or if you think these exercises are janky and crappy, let me know. But they're not. You can find every elite arm wrestler doing these lifts. I haven't seen anybody compile these three into like a big three type system, so maybe I get to be the guy who planted the flag and said these are the true big three. But yeah, I'm not that important. I just want to be helpful. If you guys think this is useful and if these exercises appeal to you, then that's my goal. Try this out. Look out for my next video talking about how to program and schedule these lifts. And stay massive. Have a good day, guys.